So, in this episode, I have the pleasure of having somebody from East Europe who has a completely different perspective on product management. I welcome Pavel Usachev. He was lead product manager at Miro. He worked in Sber and Red Mat Robot. He had different roles from product owner, from business analyst, and he has quite a very interesting career path to where he is at. And we just talked a bit ago, and he's currently in Russia with a new job, doing very exciting things with AI. We're going to talk about that. So stay tuned. And Pavel, thank you for being here. Tell us, what got you here on your journey to product management?
So first of all, Thomas, thank you that you joined me to that call, that I take part in it. I started my product manager career more than 6 years ago. It was a shift from business or system analyst role. I do not split that one because it's you should to know both if you want to be good. When I started, I started to responsible for for the financial tracking service in the Sberbank. It's the biggest bank in Russia. The service was on the MVP stage when I took them, and I started to develop and move forward to achieve new horizons with them and with the team as well.
Like, what got you there? Like a conversation with a friend? Like, what really pushed you to do it? And from there, how did you actually break in? Because you had a product owner role, you did a lateral move. How did that like thought process?
When I joined to the Sberbank, firstly I worked there as a business and system analyst for a couple of years, as I remember, for the 3 years. To the close of the third year, I start to take more responsibility, and I start with facilitation the team events, deep dive into the agile practices, and so on. And via that, I became a like internal leader in the small group in the team across how to lead the things, how to estimate in story points, how to run the events, how we should split the task, etc., etc., etc. So it will it expand my experience from business analyst perspective, where I should collect the requirements, define the requirements, communicate it to the developers and the engineers, and so on. After all of that, I also started to unpack and ask the product managers, if you will conduct some interviews, please involve me to that interview. So I would just sit and listen and nothing more, but I want to understand how everything happens there. And
What kind of interviews? Like meetings or interviews to hire product managers?
interviews with the customers. So it's customer interviews about the problems, about the user experience, and rest of the things. Mostly, so it's aimed to the user experience. How do they feel? What problem do they solve? How our service help to them to solve that problem, etc. So approach under that, I start to take more responsibility than described in my job description. Uh, continuously close area to area. So I start from the facilitating the team events and understand how everything works there. First of all, part of the how the solution should works from technical perspective, how communicate with the engineers. I already know because I had a background from the business analyst perspective, and I took the last piece here, how to communicate with the customers, what about their feedback loops, etc. It's when some of the after all of that, it's just I don't know, random or not random situation. The reorganization happens, and in that reorganization, I catch that moment, and other folks who grow up just invite me to that role and hey, do you want to be an APM and responsible for that kind of service, and you can move that forward. It was super challenge for me, but of course I accepted.
Okay. Why was it a challenge? What was new when you got into that role?
People management, it was super new to me, and when I started, I met the situation. I was responsible for the two platforms, for the iOS and Android. In my team, I started with a not complete team when I started. Only 6 folks rather than 9, and I do not have Android developers at all. So I took that. I responsible, and for that period of time, there exists 400 bugs on Android platform. I had only 1 week to find the engineers and to fix it. And this was the first challenge. So to try to hire some guy who can fix it on the distance in a week. For example, from the Monday I start to be a PM. Next Monday, the guys who previously was responsible for the service will give me a 400 bucks. So it was tough, but I completely do that. The second challenge was solve the infrastructure problem of the product to move it forward from the MVP stage to the scaling phase. The problem was that we displayed the customer transaction with a delay for the 2 days, and for the financial tracking service, where the service helps to you understand for what I spent the money and how much. It's completely to be impossible if you're not on online service. Like if you have any delays, it was tough to solve it because it's more related to the databases and how everything works under the hood. I communicate and had a tough conversation with the main database guy in the whole bank, and it was tough.
That sounds very tough. From there, you had like those are very interesting challenges. And so, from what I understand, you worked a lot with internal products as well.
Internal products case solved in Miro. Before that, I work for the B2C product.
Okay, yeah, and they're complete. Well, you have worked a lot on B2C, from what I noticed. You are from banking to Miro and now VK. Like it's very B2C, B2C, B2B as well. But
Yeah, the reason under that I look into my career and I want to solve the different product cases, not repeating the same, maybe in the same industry or in the same B2C, and you all the distance solve the B2C cases. So I look on my career that I want to expand my experience and knowledge and understanding by trying to solve the different cases. That's the reason why in Sber I solved the B2C case. After I shift to the Miro and solve the internal products and build the internal product completely like different areas. So and you go out from your comfort zone in that case every time when you do that shift. And currently I jump to the AI products and more. And work closely with the machine learning teams rather than standard mobile developers or backend, front-end engineers, etc. Once again, one more shift here.
yeah, and you all not only shift in areas, industries, like you worked at. I cannot call Miro a startup anymore. It raised like 250 million and like it's or 400 and giants like Sber. How do these environments differ for a product manager? Like, how was your experience in one company to another? And really, like, how would you define? Does the role change it?
So the most I think significant change that I see, it's in more corporation structure. You should delegate more because you have the dedicated folks to do some work. Like you have the UX researcher, you have the analysts, you have the different kind type of analyst, product, business, system. You have different type of architectures, etc. And you should clearly and communicate with all of them, understand how to build the cross-functional teams, understand how to establish the relationship and manage them on the distance. In comparison with the smaller companies, most of the part of work you do by yourself. And so in Miro, for example, I do because I work in internal product stream, and we do not have there the dedicated product analyst, UX research, and analysts at all. So you cover all of that roles by yourself. And of course, it shouldn't be compared with when some dedicated person do this, or you combine 4 or 5 roles in one person, because in that case, you every time define the area that it will be not it will be fine if you fail a bit there. So and you almost do that prioritization in your head and choose like to move forward. I need at the moment these things. Okay, let's go to do them somehow and launch the surveys, do the surveys by yourself, etc., etc. In bigger company, that the task you define the frame, the input and the output that you want to achieve, and the other person define, for example, the research methodology or something like that. And this one of the difference that I think it's most important. And the second thing is
So
how the
it's a lot
company.
of, not to interrupt you. So just to put it in words, it's like delegation versus hands-on, do it yourself.
Yeah, in one hand you need more clear communication things and communication skills to do that and achieve the results. In other companies you need to understand and have more like hard skills to understand how to build everything and do that. And for example, when you prepare the survey, you need to be also know how to write the good and short text as well, because you should be clear there and understand what works, what not. So it's a bit different type of skills that you need, but I think both of them, it's really great to have in your portfolio.
Completely. Like, I do think that one of the most important skills a product manager or just any leader needs is communication skills.
Communication, agree, 400%. It's nobody talk about it a lot, but when you get higher and on the ladder, so the communication is the most important and one of the key skills that define, I think, 80% of your success. Because the hard skills on that level, it's like the quality bar, or threshold, something like that. Everybody knows that you should know that things. It's okay. It's not something that. Uh, Somehow delight you from other person, but the communication and how you communicate, how you operate in the with the stress, with complex environment, with the complex challenges, with the changes that happen every time, and these kind of things, it's much more important on the distance.
I completely, like, absolutely. There, something that I found, and for the viewers to understand how cool you are, like you do mention that at Sber you scaled the team from 6x, increased retention by 7%, which is a lot, and grew monthly average users from 8 million to 35 million, which is like a 5x. Like, it's like very, very cool. How was that experience? Like, if you went from a business analyst, somebody that had to work and do his role, to, hey, I'm building teams. Not only am I building a team, I'm scaling it, and I am actually getting my results. How was that journey from nothing to getting that?
It was tough. It had the interesting details. So the president of the bank, Herman Gref, a lot of attention to. So it's super challenging in that case.
More attention to you. They know what you're doing.
Yeah, and preparing for the meetings with him, it also was tough because everything might change on the way. But it set the frame results like it's something that should happen. It's tough. It In that frame, you will win or not. So it's just a binary things. I spent a lot of days on the work and the weekends as well. So to achieve that, it's not a good part of it, but it was. How we achieved that? So we, as I mentioned before, we started with the 6 people and start hire from the since day one. the new folks to the team. So the first milestone was to build the complete one full for that period of time in Sberbank, complete teams defined by from 9 to 12 people, like two pieces team and approach. I hired to that people. When with that, we solved the problem, the infrastructure problem of the service, and helped to them to scale to to the million of users, because at the moment we can solve their problem, not just told to them, hey, please just wait a couple of days, we're here to solve your problem. This was the first milestone. After we achieve that, we start build this product strategy, align and collaborate with board of the bank as well, and after the execute of them. So on that distance, we understand that the expectation from the board members was too high to us, and we can't drive so many initiatives at one team with 12 people. So it's completely impossible things, and we start to grow again. The next milestone was when I had 16 people, as I remember.
Yeah.
On that distance,
Wow.
in
By then
between.
you almost tripled your team.
Yes, and at the end of the journey at Sber, I have three substreams that fully the same between in comparison between each other. So 12 people in each, the same roles structure, and the same amount of people in each role. So
Okay.
because we manage the one backlog, I do not split the backlog between the three substreams to eliminate the problem, like in my head. For example, to one stream I give almost interesting tasks that I know they deliver it on time, or on something like that, and have this challenge in my head. And to the other group, give something that's not important. So it's not a good approach. I thought at that time, and I think for now as well. Each substream was set it up with the same amount of roles and same skills and competency on them, in order to they can able to take any issue from the backlog and deliver them end to end. So that's was the reason.
There are two things that I would love to go deeper into it. The first one is, how did you learn to hire? What's a good hire? How did you determine that? And then how did you balance the long-term vision with the quick wins? Because HR doesn't care. You gotta figure it out. You gotta go ahead. How are you doing that?
It's an interesting question because I do not have a direct answer. So
No, it's fine.
I think the approach that I choose, the first of all, is the trust. In the situation where I need the guys to build the things and to meet the expectations, I do not have a lot of time to think about, to care about the everything. I just need to check more. Do we on the same vibe or not, and understand that I trust to their skills. So the track record, I talk with people and see that I inspired them with the product, because on that period of time I had only one only one weapon in my arsenal. It's like inspire the folks to do the things with myself, because it's challenging. The board look on us. We do not have a time to understand everything, and after deliver the things, we need to deliver it yesterday. In that case, I look on the track record, on the how we communicate with that guys and do the same vibe or not, trying to inspire them and see how these people react on do they want to build this kind of product or not. Because if they want, and they motivated, you eliminate a lot of roadblocks that you might meet on the distance if the people motivated. So I trying to build a motivated team. Of course, I made some mistakes with the hiring process, and one of the mistake was when I hired the Scrum Master, who want to destroy my team. So it
How
was
did that
super.
happen?
So I followed the same approach, but I mistaken in that case, and
But you wouldn't know. Like he was perfectly fine. You trusted. But how did you know he wanted to destroy your team, or what was his motivation?
feedback from the team. He was not satisfied with the Scrum Master role because he wants to be more product manager. I underestimate that things during the hiring. Each team member who communicate with him after came to me and they say, "What did just been? What did just happen?" So because this people, this guy do not have like. The personal borders and ask like the questions, how to say,
Directly,
not yeah,
impersonal or rude.
yeah, and here not take care about what do you think, what do you feel, etc.,
Mhm.
and break everything. And the communication style was super not unfamiliar. The communication style was not what
Not
we use it.
empathetic.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I spend a lot of energy and time to get fired him. So I spent more than 3 months.
So just and this is great for people that get to listen to this. How when you recognize that somebody's not helping or actually harming your teams, what are the actions that you need to do in order to try to cut that loss?
First of all, to be ready to do that in your head and do not think that you can affect somehow the life of other person. So I
Hmm.
spend a ton of times to talk about that I'm affecting the other people if I see that we 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 do not satisfy each other from the working perspective. Uh,
Yeah,
it was blocker in my head. So first of all, I think you need to eliminate this blocker and understand why and how you can remove that. So because when I understand that, when I told to other people that hey, uh, appreciate for your help, but I see that the future distance, the future journey, we can't move forward together. So it's not just because you not not the best person or something like that, or so it's just because we need at the moment a different type of the people, and that's it.
completely.
Without any judgment, just say thank you for the journey that we had. We just you move forward and we move forward. And when I understand that I do not affecting the other lives. So it was much easier to do uh, to do that thing.
I want to get a little bit into the data and how you, because I know you're a big advocate of data driven product management. But before I even get there, because you just mentioned that, you how do you approach learning for leadership regarding coaching, therapy, actually growing in that aspect? Because I know that you talk about that, or you're interested in that.
So actually, I think after 1 year, I started to be a product manager. I started to my session with psychotherapists, and I still continue doing them for today. It's already 5 years. Manager role and why it's important to work with yourself. Actually, the product management is the area with the big uncertainty and ambiguity that you every day you're working on. So you don't know what the users need. You don't know um, can you deliver the things on time, etc. Everything you don't know, and the only approach that you do, you just reduce that uncertainty by different practices and everything. Of course, with that like type of task, it's tough. It's tough from the mental perspective, and how the psychotherapist. First of all, it's your time for self-reflection. It's time for yourself, just understanding, training your, finding the answers. Why I do that in that way? Why I react on that things? Why I feel that things, etc. like in product manager, you find the root cause, and then after you can change it and fix it and make some improvements. When you communicate with the people, the communication and everything, how you react on the things, in what way you communicate, how you do everything, actually, it's impact on your overall results. And in product manager, as we discussed before, the communication is one of the core skill. And without, I think that without understanding of yourself, without spending time on your like mental work and understanding and have ability to manage your reactions different situations, it's super crucial to have that skills in your skill set, because without that you might ruin some relations, some important relationship that can drive you to the results, and without that you it's completely impossible to achieve that. And it's happened not because the other people I don't know, meet your expectation. It's because you do not understand yourself and do not and do the things in the wrong way.
I really love what you just said, because you're talking about how you have personal responsibility, and it's about having accountability to yourself in order to bring that to your team, to whatever project you're doing. And you're saying, if I'm not well, if I don't know what I'm doing with myself, whatever I'm trying to achieve won't even happen.
What I should expect from the others, of course. If I don't want to expect from myself in that case, what I should expect from the others, and why.
Completely. This mentality of having absolute. There's a book I recommend if you haven't looked at it, by Ray Dalio, called Principles.
I read it. Yeah, I read it.
Yeah, he talks about having a lot of, and there's another book called Radical Candor, from Meta Facebook at that time, that talks about having very honest opinions, not only with your team, but starts with you. And I love the approach you take it. That is really, really cool. From there, now you worked on yourself. You are implementing. You're helping the people. You're talking to the customers. How do you or how do you approach decisions? What are the things that you're looking for when you're building a project or working on a product? Because you're like, product management, it's all about exploration. It's not about execution. It's about figuring out what we don't know. It's the unknowns. So how do you take decisions when you still don't know if you're right or wrong, and where you need to move or pivot?
At the moment, I'm trying to use the different approach, like, and to see on the same problem with the different angles. So under the hood, I'm trying to understand the logic model and of the problem, and understand the root cause, because it will give me an answers via what I can via what I can influence to solve the problem. What uh, things I need to do. For example, if we will talking about the metrics in SaaS area, their conversion, C1 conversion, average payment count, and the average price is the key things. In SaaS, most of the SaaS sell just subscription. It might be split by the different time frames. At the moment, I think the SaaS in the stage of finding the way to expand their offering to the customers and what they're selling. So it's like it's happened with the AI credits and other things.
Mm-hmm.
Build the bundle it offers and so on. So when you understand the nature of environment and what your product exists, first of all, you should understand the key elements there and how they um, connected with each others, what relations do they have between them, as well combine it with business model where you operate, and after trying to find the proofs, or maybe not proofs, via the data. So this where combining everything will reduce the uncertainty for at least you can create the more realistic hypothesis than without it. And after the problem approach, it's you have some hypothesis, and after you go and check them. It's closer to the scientist approach that, for example, we know that something exists in the space, but we don't know is it a round or circle one. So let's assume that it's circle. What in that case will happen? And trying to find an answers and prove that or not. So the product approach is quite the same. About what else I think important thing about the data driven decisions, and it's also the part how you communicate this data and decisions to the team and to the everybody who interested in your group, because you should understand the data in the same way first of all, and you should go from top to bottom, from the environment where your product exists, and next uh, dive into each step, and finish with we know if we will increase that metric for that numbers, it will give the results to us. And of course, with the metrics, one more thing here, that you should metrics, it's just display the user behavior. First of all, it's not just numbers, it's displaying how the user behave with your product. And via metrics, I think as a product manager, you need to focus on how you impact to the user behavior, and see that via the metrics. It's because it's one separate metric. It's not good enough. I think it's just number. Okay, it might be high or not or low. It doesn't matter. But when you see how what metrics describe your user behavior and how you can measure it, and understand via that how your product convert the users to, I don't know, to core users, to the profit, to the anything. So you understand, and you can make them more impactful in that case.
Completely. Something that I noticed when I was working on, I worked on the business intelligence for a Chinese company called Didi, and then I worked for different startups. Noticed that the way that, at least, let's say my manager in this case, the way they approached certain stakeholders with the same data was different, because they knew the intention of what they wanted to hear. What is your experience? What does higher stakes managers, what do they want to look at the metrics, and what kind of metrics or what kind of data points do you give to your team? How do you work with that, knowing it's the same data, but you need to say different stories?
Yes, for the top managers, like their key characteristic, they do not have a time. They like stories. They super fast estimate and understand what you to show them next. The presentation might end on the first slide. So this situation happens. And you need to communicate to them everything with just a small paragraph. Or to understand how you should communicate to the top managers, you first need to listen, and I think understand for what they pay attention. Every person is different, and you need to care about their personality, trying to find out their public speaking and what they focus on, and via that starting to communicate with them on their language, not on yours, on their language. You should communicate. And bring to the table the numbers that they care about. Ideally, if there exists some public speaking event with some numbers, and you can understand for what this manager care about and why. And when you communicate to the team, you can you completely solve a different task. When I need to inspire the team, I will build a story that mostly inspire them. And so I can provide an example here. when we reached the 10 million user base, monthly active users, with the financial tracking service. So I compare it with the whole app audience, and it was 3 times less. And you compare 10 millions versus 30 millions, and you don't know, is it good enough or not? It's not bad, but is it good enough? I transferred to that 10 millions to show how it's then actually this number is big. To
Yeah.
I converted to the things that describe that there are a lot of people. So I choose the whole population of the New York City. It was
Oh
8 million.
wow, I like that. You're like, imagine New York City. They're using our
Imagine
product.
New York City, plus I choose the Woodstock festival and 5 Woodstocks. There 40 400k people was there, and compare whole New York, because it's everybody knows that city from the films, I don't know, TV shows, etc. So it's a pretty familiar metaphor to use it here to understand how it big, and add a biggest festival that happened. Yeah, and the Woodstock also, most of the people knows about the Woodstock. So, and just imagine, we reached the 10 million. It's New York plus 4
Wow.
Woodstock. And when you imagine that in that things, you understand that it's super big impact. The audience is super big. But when you compare the 10 millions versus 30, it's doesn't sound in that way. And here
It's
the
a number. Humans
yeah,
don't
it's
understand how big a number is. Like after, it's super interesting. I'm just gonna go sideways, but there's a very interesting study that talks about how humans are not able to comprehend how
for
big
sure.
is like 1,000 to 10,000 and 10,000 to 100,000, or because it's one more zero. But
Yeah.
and for us, it's like
Okay.
we just don't comprehend.
But when I communicate the same information to the top managers, I will give them the share of the that we have 1/3 from the whole bank audience, etc. So it's a completely different approach because they do not. Uh, if I show to them like New York and Woodstock, it's
The,
so I
not
will
relevant.
not relevant at all. Yeah,
Yeah, I love that. That's a great use of analogies. I'll use that. So now that we talked about the Woodstock and also New York populations, we're seeing something that's getting big, and it's something that you are actually telling me you're very interested in, which is AI. How do you see AI transforming the product manager role in the next 5 years?
I think for first of all from the skill set that product managers should have. AI, it's more like AI. It's the top of the iceberg. In lower levels, there exists the work with the data, and the data is the huge problem that exists in IT industry for now because it's how you store the data, how you eliminate. And do the data engineering, how you build your pipelines, etc. So it's a huge area there, and the AI on top of that, how you can improve the customer lives with utilizing that technology. The scaling of the AI as a technology definitely dictate to us what skills we should have in our skill set as a product manager. So first of all, from the skills. The second thing is how to it's increase the speed, definitely, because it's already the chat gpt changed the pattern how we search information, how we compare the information, and it's also uh, need to have a different way to we need at the moment be more skilled and experienced how we ask the question and how we understand that we should ask that questions, because previously we just know that okay, I don't know, not
I'll Google this, I'll find it, and then I'll
yeah,
figure it out.
then I combine 10 links into one research, and that's my work, and add my opinions there, and here the result. It's like when I studied in university, your most of the works looks like that way, or you can go to the library, read some books, etc. So you choose the different sources, get here the information from them, analyzing and building your work. So the AI do all of that for us, and we need to understand how to ask them properly. This also a new skill that we need to figure out. It's also impacts on the experience that we can provide to our customers. It's also the AI change the way how we interact with the product, because in most of the cases the AI might be embedded and added to the product in a seamless way, so you will not see them at all, but it exists there. So for example, when you type something to the search field, and they suggest you something like on Amazon or something like that, AI exists there. AI exists for a couple of years in Spotify when it's give
Or
you the next
Netflix.
song, next playlist. Yeah, it exists on the streaming services, etc. So and we already use this technology as customers for the long period of time. But from product management, it's scaling at the moment, and we need to adopt our skills and way how we look on this as well.
Yeah. But what are the skills? Like you mentioned skills, but what do you think are the main skills that are going to be useful in the next 5 years?
I think it's about how to embed the AI capabilities to the existing customer journeys. It's the first one, to what part of the customer journey it makes sense to add the AI there.
Mm-hmm.
Second, it's how you can what type of new ways to solve the same journeys or new problems at all. You can do it with the AI. Under the hood of all of that, it's how to build that. For example, how you should set the task for the ML engineers to do that results for you. For example, I want to uh, promote some content creators with less than 1,000 subscribers. Uh, in that place, I understand that if we will do that, that this will impact on their retention, for example. And so you need to specify how to do that, because all that happen inside, it's like the black box at the moment for the most of the product managers, because we care as a B2C product manager. The product managers focus on to solving the problem, and the AI is just one of the approach to solve that problem, and the capability to do that. But to do that, you need the skills in data, understand how to build the models, understand the places, the relevant places where you can utilize the AI, and understand the UX of the AI, because it might be a copilot, it might be added seamlessly, it might be some suggest give you some suggestion or next best action or something like that. So you need to choose the best approach that fits to
Mm-hmm.
understand the play and understand how to build everything under the hood. Because if you don't know
Completely.
how to do, in that case, you will not solve the problem, and you will not be successful with the AI. About the areas that AI currently everywhere. So I think
It's in everything.
yeah, it's almost on everything, but I think on the distance it's will slow down a bit, and we will see the couple of products that can scale the AI successfully. Because currently that uh, the Gartner cycle, it's we on the top with that technology, and after it will slow down a bit. But for the next 10 to 15 years, I suppose it will be one of the core area that should be scaled a lot.
That's very interesting. I'll look more into the cycle. I want to go more into questions like, will AI replace us or not? But I think that something that's more interesting to hear your advice is for people that want to break into product management. What would you recommend? How will you approach it?
Understand that you will faced with a lot of uncertainty and be ready to that. So yeah, and do not underestimate the uncertainties. I think only that most of that advice and actually being motivated and want to build the products because without your motivation, without your passion, understanding why you want to do this, it's super hard to compete with uncertainty because in that case they will smash you and it will be a tough. You should be ready also for the burnout and that kind of things. Just understand that it's not something that happens only with you. It happens with everything, and it's just a cycle. Just know that it's a cycle, and to not fall down in it. With it, you should manage your energy level, and it's if you had already know how to do that, it's super great. If you don't care, just start to think about it because it might be like completely different things. You might walk with your dog or do some running because it might be super different how you achieve that, but understanding what gives you energy, what it's goes down, so it's super important to understanding. It's not about the hard skills at all. So it's about
Okay.
how you uh, look on the things, and due to you will collaborate like closely with uncertainty. Uncertainty is your super friend, so it's best your best friend. So you need to be ready to make a good relationship with that.
I love that. I love that. You would make a good entrepreneur, I think.
We'll see on the distance. I don't know.
We'll see. But based on that as well, because you clearly are friends with the uncertainty. It sounds like, I don't know if you have. I like reading a lot. I think you noticed. Have you ever heard Jung talking about the shadow? It's like be
Yeah,
friends with the shadow.
yeah. It's completely about it. Yes.
Yeah, and with that, like, what if you could go back and give yourself a career advice? What would it be? Now that you know everything that you know and you have experienced all that you have done, how would you do things different if you could?
Moving faster. That's advice because I'm my nature is more like style. In that case, to do that, I think you need to clearly understand what problem do you solve and use it like a lens via what you looking for, looking to the because when you understand the problem, you understand the root cause, you understand the everything. So, and the problem solving is one of the key competency that exists in the product area. And yeah, but moving faster, when you better understand the problem, you can solve it faster.
Okay, so from what I got is you need to move faster, and the only way you'll do that is to know what you're solving for. And you're talking about that in your career, like having a purpose, defining what kind of work do you want to do. Like, what do you mean by that?
I think I mean understand the different approaches and etc. Because approach frameworks. So I'm currently reading the problem solving book, and I do not remember the author, but it's Revolut advice on their interviews because I passed the interviews, the trying to pass their interviews at Revolut as well. So moving faster, it's how to understand the low hanging fruits, understand the long distance things. You estimate, compare the everything. You choose not the best option that you think it's because it's that way, but also asking every time what what the problem I'm solving at the moment. So and yeah, that prioritize the best solution to solve that. Of course, the experience consists of mistakes, etc. And if you speed up the you decrease the length when you meet the new mistakes. It's in other words, it means you're moving faster, so you have a better experience.
So to finish this off, we're gonna go for a quick round of questions, and it, I just want you to think of the word whatever comes to your mind first. So, what's your favorite product of all time?
Streaks. It's the habit tracker app that help to change how I behave with a lot of things in my personal life. So
Amazing. I'll use it.
I reduce.
What did you do?
Yeah, cool.
What?
I use it. Huh? Sorry.
No. I think we're too nice.
I use it first time maybe 3 years ago or four. I do not remember, but I changed the way how the alcohol consumption. So because I was interested actually. I'm like before I was the casual drinker. I don't know, maybe on the weekends or on some evenings, but not too often. But I'm interested for how much actually for on the year distance. How much days
Yeah.
do I use it with alcohol? And after I can count it, I can reduce it almost 3 times for now. And it's the way how I change. And this app helped me to change the behavior. I not only do that for that, I also manage their all the training, pills, and etc. But the alcoholic consumption it's something that's super hard to solve. And during that journey, I understand that the approach when I it's like it came I think from product manager career to me. So when I can measure the things, I can change it after. Until I measure the things and do not understand how it's big or not, is it too much or not? No, I just have the feeling. I can do nothing with that. And when I count it via the app, so I have ability to manage it and manage in the different ways. So I can reduce it, I can increase it. So it's my choice what I will do with that.
I love that. Very product driven, very data driven. What's the biggest misconception about product management?
Underestimate the uncertainty and how to collaborate with it.
Apple or Mac? No, Apple or Windows?
I'm mostly use the Apple products for the long periods of time, more than 10 years, I suppose. When
Okay.
actually I have money for them.
WhatsApp or
Telegram.
Yeah, makes sense. And one feature you wish every product had?
So it's a tough question. So it's you know, for it be fully stable, it's zero crash rate,
Like,
or another hand, it's great. Then when you think about the need, for example, I want to listen the music, or I want to watch the video, or I need to get to some destination, and if the app and service came to your mind, and it means that it's great app. It's they build the habit, and they are built they build a habit that if you know that I want to text to somebody, I will use the WhatsApp, or I will use another app. So this is I think that define the great products from all the rest. Who can build that mind in your head?
which is the product that is actually solving what you want? I love that. Okay. Thank you so much, Pavel. I am very thankful for the time given to us. A lot of really great insights, and I hope you enjoyed your time.
Sure.
It's been great to have you.